All right, welcome to KKPM. I'm just going to showcase the program here. If you need help getting to this stage, getting the program up, look at the README file. If you're on Windows, just go to the releases page. There's a zip file there you can grab which has the exe in it. Very easy. If you want to run it on Python and Windows, look at the README. And if you're on Linux, very simple. Pretty much don't need me to tell you how to do it, but if you need help, look at the README, okay? Once you have the program up, there's this main view here. This is where all the files are going to show up. We can drag drop to add files, folders, even playlists, or you can just go kind of old school with the file menu and add them that way, or you can load them from custom JSON that we're going to save. I'll show you that as well. So let's start real basic. Let's just go file, add files and folders. You can select multiple here. I'm just going to select one folder. When you first bring it in, it's going to be highlighted in blue. You can just click off if you like. This green color is anything that's new or updated without being cleared off. This will be very helpful later on, and I'll show that as well. I'm just going to clear the color off for now. Now, the main feature that I made this for is changing the counts. Here you can just click. Now, count just means how many of that file are in the playlist, how many instances. So you can weight things more or less than other items. You can do a bunch at once. You can do a set count, just set it back to 2. You can double click. There's like 4 ways you can change counts, okay? Now, there's 2 modes. There's the stacked mode, which I'm currently in, or you can go into singular mode. Singular mode is just going to show each file one by one. So we'll just switch to that for now. There's just a warning here that if you change the order of your files in the singular mode, that when you restack them, that's going to change the order in the stacked mode. It's just a bit of a warning there, which you can disable in the settings. So you can see the current order. If I'm to shuffle it, and then I restack, it's going to restack everything from top to bottom. It's in a different order than our original version, so just be aware of that. What we can do is we have columns here, which we can edit. If we go to settings, we can choose which columns we want to see. So I'm going to click on title. I'm just going to move it up here. Let's put on some bit rates. Okay. So as you can see, they're not really populated with any information right now. But if we click on populate all column data, then it's going to retrieve that data for us. And that's from FFmpeg or FFmpeg. So now we have duration, we have, the bit rates, things like that. So what can we do with these files? We can do open video file, open the location. You can remove it from the list. You can delete it entirely, which actually just sends it to the trash bin as a bit of a safety measure. You can rename the actual file. So this will rename it on disk and in the list. You can do edit cell. This is kind of just like a fix if you need to fix the file name. You can do that with location as well. You can update the file folder if you want to seek to it, if you want to have the seek version. You can do, you can actually move files. So say I wanted to move these to a different folder, you can select a bunch of things and just move them like this. Just be aware that if you're moving from one drive to another drive, that it's going to take as long as that function takes on your disks, right? You can add a prefix or a suffix. Let's just do a prefix. Let's do gaming. You can undo. Most functions are on undo, but not everything. Say if I was to delete this file entirely, so that's going to go to the trash. If I hit undo on that, it's going to show back up in the list, but it's technically still in the trash. So if I validate the location, that one's now invalid. Say I have a list of 10,000 things and it found 50 invalid files. You can sort that, put the invalid files at the bottom. Now you can go in, you can fix the folder, the file name, or you can just go ahead and delete those from the list to clear those colors off. Okay, so I think we've gone through most of these functions. Oh, edit file tags, of course. So stuff like title, artist, album, all that you can apply. You can do multiple at once. They'll all update. So just be careful with that. If you have multiple selected, it's going to set it for all of them. Okay, let's go ahead and do a save, and I can show a couple things with that. Let's just go here and go playlist 1, very original. Playlist saved. Now in XSPF, it's only going to save certain things. It's going to save the file name, the title, the location, and the duration information if you have it. So if we go to go new playlist, or we go into recent, load that one back up. See, it's missing a lot of this extra data now. It does have date modified and size because I've got a custom call on there which populates those automatically when you bring in the list. I can show that in a minute. So if you want to save all of your custom column data, say you got a massive list of 10,000, 100,000 items, you can go save data to JSON, and we can go P1 JSON. Now I can close the program. Gone. Just going to relaunch it. Now I can actually mess up all of these columns, do whatever I want. Now I can go load JSON. Boom. We're right back to that previous JSON state. I've got all of my data still there. These ones don't have data because they're audio files, but you can sort however you like. Now, what else can we do? We've got a search filter here. You can type in, each one. You can toggle on and off location, file name, title, file type. Let's do MP4 if you want all the MP4s. You can save just this playlist here. You can do, if you want to just save these, you can save selected only. You can do, what else can we do? There's lots to do. Let's drag drop another playlist. So we have our current playlist. Let's do add count default. This is going to increment by 3. If I do this, I can clear the current session. I can add all the files that were in that playlist with this current increment count, or I can add all the files from that playlist with their original counts, which was more like 2. So I'm going to try with this setting, current increment count. So now it's done 2 plus 3. Now I have 5 of each. All right. And you can also do that with JSON as well. Same thing. Let's go original counts. So those original counts were 2. You see that these have been updated, so they're now in green. If I was to do something like just drag in the video files, click on new and updated, only the files that were updated are now in this new and updated list. So that can be very useful if you've got a massive list and you just dragged in 5 files. You want to just double check the counts on those or something like that, or you want to change the tags. I just find that very useful. So, all right, we can go into the settings now. I think all of this is kind of explained. General settings. This just suppresses the noise on pop-ups. This one here disables the warning dialogues. You've got some appearance adjustments you can make. This is the auto quick stats on file add, which gives you some information, but not all of it. So you can get things like size and date modified and stuff very quickly. These are just the FFmpeg and FFprop checks. FFprop is part of FFmpeg if you're confused, but you don't need FFmpeg to run everything that the program needs. You only need the exe if you're on Windows. A little confusing, but if you have FFmpeg and Path, which I think most people probably do, then you'll be fine. The amount of FFprop workers, faster drives can use more workers, stuff like NVMe drives. But if you have a really slow hard drive, then it's only going to take a couple workers. Default is 4 here. Column scope, I recommend just populate all the columns. If you run a column population, it's just going to run. It's going to run on these as well. Not the ones that aren't in the list, but it's going to run on these as well. So if I were to turn these on, they would have data in them already. I don't have to rerun them. So that's what that is. And then there's a second mode here of deep scan versus a normal analyze. The deep scan's a little slower. It goes basically, it looks into the file and tries to populate data for those missing or tricky columns that sometimes don't get filled. So say you got a list of 10,000 items. It filled up everything except for the audio 150. You can try a deep scan, and more often than not, it's going to get that extra information for you. And you can do that just by doing a right click and doing a deep scan here, like just on these files. Or you can just change it in the settings if you want to do a deep scan on everything. All right, let's see what else we can do. We can do, yes. So let's see what this can really do. Oh, you can also redact or block some stuff from coming in. So if you just want video or you just want audio, you can disable one or the other. I've also got a redaction mode where you can redact all the file names and locations from showing up. You can also do every column. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do an entire drive worth of stuff. And we'll just see how long that takes. Okay, that's really fast. If your drive is like warmed up, then it's going to happen really quickly, or at least it did for me. I mean, that's a million files. So, okay, you can see quick stats going up here. That's just going to give us our like size and stuff like that on these files. So for 35,000 files, it populated that stuff pretty quickly. If your drive isn't warmed up, that's going to take a little bit longer. That was only a few seconds. But you can see the power of this program here. There's 35,000 files here, incremented by 3. It's 100,000 entries, right? Okay, so you can see these are all new. Let's go ahead and clear the validation colors. I'm just going to add in some more video. Show new and updated. Just to show that that works. Those extra videos are still in there. I'm going to clear the filter. I want to see how large this is. Let's go ahead and save. I recommend using JSON because you get that video data. Oh, we should do this first. We'll populate just to show the speed. So that's on 4. We can stop it here. Go into settings. You can change the worker amounts. Let's just try that real quick. You can see that that's faster for this drive. Let's stop it again. Let's go for a deep scan. When you stop it, it does save the prior progress, so let's see how quickly this one works. If you do have a playlist this large, it is going to take a little bit of time, but I don't know who's got playlists this large, but you can see the deep scan is going to take a little bit longer or something like that. So what I actually recommend is do the normal. Then if you got files that are being annoying, you can do a deep scan just from like a right click on those ones, right? So let's go ahead and save this. I want to see how big the JSON will be. All right. That's only 13 megabytes for a file that has 100,000 entries and has custom data columns. Let's also see the p list to XSPF. I'm just curious. I'll have to go back and check. Oh, that one's 35 megabytes. So the JSON's actually smaller and it has more data. Interesting. Let's go ahead and drag that in. Add files with original counts. Sure. I just want to see how long this will take. I mean, that's really fast, guys. Like, you know, Python's pretty incredible. So I owe this to kind of Python and those kind of wizards. But I find it pretty useful. And hopefully I've explained things well enough that you can use the program to whoever you'd like to use it. I don't know if I mentioned the play last saved and play current list. Play last saved just plays the last one you saved, obviously. You can click on this little folder button that'll open the folder, or you can just play the current list as a temp file. It does save a temp file, which you can locate that folder just by clicking that button. Well, I think that's it, guys. I'll stop there. Maybe some more things will be added and changed, but those are kind of the features that I wanted to put in. So the best of luck and hope you enjoy. Bye for now.